Welcome back in Fantasy Baseball today. What do we make of these starting pitchers? Logan Gilbert, a weird one at the Yankees. Final line, 5 1/3, 5 runs allowed, 5 strikeouts here. He was dealing before the rain delay. 4 innings, 1 hit, 0 walks, 4 strikeouts. After the rain delay, 1.1 innings, 5 runs allowed, 2 walks to 1 strikeout. So it was something like a 45-minute, maybe an hour rain delay, and I was a little surprised to see both starting pitchers came back out. That might just be the explanation here, Chris, but even in the other starts since he's returned, 5 starts since coming back from that arm injury, it's a 5.68 ERA and a 1.30 whip. So what do you make of Logan Gilbert right now?
Yeah, he's been a little shaky. On the other hand, it's 35 strikeouts in 25 1/3 innings. The control, I guess, has been a little more shaky than you've come to expect, but even then it's 7 walks in 25 1/3 innings. That's not particularly concerning. So I don't really have much concern about Logan Gilbert right now. If anything, I think there are some reasons to believe that he's as good or better than he's ever been, and it's just been a little bit of bad luck on balls in play because he has a 37% strikeout rate, which is the highest of his career by far, and I don't necessarily think that's a fluke. He has dropped his arm slot from a 44-degree arm angle last season to a 37-degree this season, and the primary thing that has changed is it's made his splitter, which was really good last year, even better this season. He has a 53% whiff rate with his splitter and a 105 expected WOBA allowed. 80.5 mile per hour average exit velocity against for Logan Gilbert on his splitter. His slider's been very good. The four-seamer's playing even better than it did last year. I think most of the signs indicate that Logan Gilbert is as good or better than he's ever been. And the only thing holding me back is just that he dealt with an elbow injury earlier in the season, and just maybe his command's a little off. Maybe he's not 100%. Maybe the injury risk is a little higher moving forward. But if you could guarantee me health for Logan Gilbert, I think he's a top 10 starting pitcher.
Yeah, I mean the fact that it was an elbow injury, right, or forearm. So obviously that's always scary, and he throws hard. So maybe he's just not completely right. But I agree. I mean, if I knew he was healthy, I would say, boom, give this guy the clear, buy low or just buy right now stamp of approval. But it adds a little bit of hesitation, I guess, with trying to buy.
I'm much more likely to say buy low, though, or just buy, period, with Logan Gilbert than anything else, though.
All right. Where are the whiffs for Shota Imanaga, who had a quality start at the Twins? 6 innings, 2 runs, 0 walks, but only 1 strikeout. The weird part, he had 11 whiffs on 83 pitches, so it just feels like that should have resulted in more than just 1 strikeout here. But 13 hard hits allowed, velocity down in this start for Imanaga, and I don't know, it's just been a weird season for him. I know he dealt with the injury, he missed a lot of time, but even before then, he has 4 strikeouts or fewer in 9 of 11 starts. His swinging strike rate is down this season. He's giving up a lot more fly balls, which has led to more barrels, a higher home run rate as well. So, Chris, where are the strikeouts? What is going on with Imanaga?
Yeah, the concern I had with Imanaga, in so much as I had concerns coming into the season, was just that because his stuff is not great, he throws 92, he's got that amazing splitter, but the overall arsenal is, I think his success last season was more about how unique his approach has been. There are not many lefties who rely on a splitter as heavily as Shota Imanaga is. There are not a lot of lefties who do that while being 5'10" with a low arm slot release. So he's just someone that hitters don't have a lot of familiarity with. It's a type of pitcher that hitters in the majors don't have a lot of familiarity with. And I was worried that it would just be a little less effective when the element of surprise was taken away, because hitters tend to do better the more they see pitchers. They tend to do better the more they see pitch types. A good example of that is the sweeper craze when it first was introduced, and you saw guys throwing really good sweepers. The whiff rates were super high. Now I think the whiff rate on sweepers league-wide is actually a little bit lower than it is for like sliders. So that just kind of illustrates the point that the more hitters see of pitchers or pitches, the better they do against them. And I think maybe Imanaga, the league is catching up to him a little bit. He's still been very good, but 19% strikeout rate, walk rate's a little elevated. I do think there's a sell high window here with Shota Imanaga, especially because the strikeouts aren't getting better with the since he came back from the hamstring injury.
So my next question was, would you be looking to buy on Shota Imanaga? But you're more likely to go the other way and sell. Yeah, while you can. All right. What about Jack Flaherty? His first quality start since actually it might be back to no. Last time it was only 5, but I think he has 2 quality starts in his last 3. This one I was nervous because last time he faced Tampa Bay, he got destroyed by them. But solid outing, 6 1/3 innings, 2 runs, 8 strikeouts to 1 walk, had 16 whiffs on 93 pitches. The velocity was up on his breaking pitches in this start, and it's just also been a weird season here, Chris, for Jack Flaherty, who has a 4.70 ERA, a 1.24 WHIP. I am at this point, unless something changes, like his fastball and slider have regressed from where they were last season. Yeah. I am comfortable saying that Flaherty is more likely to be a high 3s or low 4s ERA pitcher, albeit with a lot of strikeouts. But I was expecting that number to be better coming into the season. So I don't know. I'm ready not to take the L, but I guess I just admit that, yeah, this is not the pitcher that I was expecting coming into the year.
I think that's fair. I'm more inclined to call him a buy low because the stuff still looks like it's mostly there. And, maybe the command hasn't been as good, and that's why the walk rate and the quality of contact is worse. But that's the kind of thing that could just flip on a dime. Like, as we saw, like, I have some faith in the Tigers being able to figure that out because they already did. And maybe that's misplaced faith. I certainly wouldn't give up a ton for Jack Flaherty, but I'm still not quite ready to write him off as a, very good fantasy option, even if he hasn't been anything close to that so far this season.
I hear you. I understand it. It can flip quickly here, but why hasn't it already, I guess? That was my question, right? Like, it's been 18 starts, and the Tigers still haven't really been able to get him on track. He's been okay. He's had some good starts this season.
A lot of strikeouts. I mean, that's the one thing. 29% strikeout rate is still really good.
Yeah, it's just he's also had some big blowups too. Yep. So I think he's more like a, maybe a 3.8 to like 4 ERA pitcher with a lot of strikeouts, but which is better than what he's done so far. It's just, I was probably expecting something like a mid-3s ERA coming into the season.
I will give him this. At least the whip is still tolerable. It's not good, but for as mediocre as the ERA is, 4.70, 124 whip you can live with. So that is a good sign, even though it's not. It's still not a great thing for Jack Flaherty.
Yeah. Next up, Jose Soriano had a rough outing against the Rangers. 4 innings, 5 runs allowed, 5 walks, a season high, to just 4 strikeouts through only 57% of his pitches for strikes. And look, he's had 2 very rough outings in his last 3. Back on June 27th, he allowed 8 earned runs over 4 innings. Do these 2 terrible starts, Chris, kind of erase all the good faith that Soriano built up with us? Because before these 2 bad starts, I mean, he had like 7 shutout with 10 strikeout starts. He was doing some really great things. 85% rostered. Should that still be the case for Jose Soriano?
I think he's a drop. And it's frustrating because he does so many things well. Elite ground ball pitcher, maybe the best ground ball pitcher in baseball. Has 4 different pitches with an above average swing and miss rate, which is pretty shocking. There are only 7 pitchers in baseball who have thrown at least 100 pitches of each pitch type and have 4 pitches with an above average swinging strike rate. That is Zach Wheeler, Paul Skeens, Spencer Schwellenbach, Cole Reagans, Freddie Peralta, Ronnie Enriquez, and Jose Soriano. That is really weird because he's got a 20% strikeout rate for the season. Because I think his command is just really bad. And he's going to give up a lot of hits because he's a ground ball pitcher. Even when things are going well, he'll give up a lot of hits. So Jose Soriano, not at all someone that I think needs to be rostered in every league, unfortunately.